You know exactly what to do and still don't do it. Not because you're lazy, but because your plan dies the moment reality throws a small obstacle in the way. Today we wire your plan into the environment so the next cue triggers action before your excuses boot up. Time is inventory. Energy is electricity. You can hold 8 free hours and still ship nothing if voltage is low. Implementation intentions turn vague goals into tiny circuits. When a specific cue appears, a preloaded action fires. That bypasses the inner negotiation and turns intention into a near reflex. Here's the short neurochemical model. Dopamine drives pursuit when a cue predicts the next step. Noradrenaline flags salience so you notice that cue. Acetylcholine stabilizes focus on one target. Fuzzy plans starve dopamine. Context switching jangles noradrenaline. And attention never locks. If-then plans repair this by binding a concrete cue to a tiny first move with a near reward so initiation costs less and momentum begins. A few reframes clear the road. You don't need more motivation, you need less negotiation. A plan does not have to map the whole journey. It only has to reveal the next solid brick. If-then plans do not crush creativity, they remove residue from unfinished tasks, so your working memory is clean. Waiting for the perfect window is a disguised delay. You create the window by tying action to a cue that arrives without your permission. Proof matters. A meta-analysis by Gollwitzer and Sheeran in 2006 found implementation intentions produced a medium to large boost in goal completion across health, study, and work, including real-world settings. In field studies with patients, simply writing when and where the first step would happen led to many more workouts than motivation alone. Work from Oettingen's group shows that pairing wish and outcome imagery with if-then planning helps execution under conflict, because the decision is pre-made at the point of friction, so the action runs even when temptation is high. Now to practice with 2 levers. First, reduce start friction. Decide the smallest action that counts as started. Then place the trigger where your eyes will meet it. For deep writing, opening the draft and typing one ugly sentence is enough. Put the draft link where your cursor will collide with it at the cue. For a workout, shoes in sight and a warm-up track cued, convert a visual cue into movement. The aim is not heroics. It is making the beginning too cheap to refuse. Second, use context bundling. Instead of switching between incompatible schemas, bind tools, place, and time into one packet and reuse it for the same category of work. Language study happens in the same chair with the same headset at the same hour after lunch. Video editing launches with a dedicated keyboard layout and a template that opens to the right bins. When the environment preloads the context, the if-then plan rides downhill. Here is your 20-minute protocol as one continuous sequence. At the next predictable cue you control, for example, the moment your coffee mug touches the desk after lunch, set a 20-minute countdown and open the exact file, board, or template that defines started for this task. Close unrelated windows and silence notifications for just this block. Begin with a 2-minute warm entry that is deliberately easy, like 1 outline line, 5 flashcards, or trimming the first clip. Move into a 15-minute push on 1 atomic unit that can be visibly finished, then use the final 3 minutes to write the next tiny step at the top of the file. Stage the tools for tomorrow, tick your tracker, and take a small, non-derailing reward. The finish condition is binary, unit done, and next step staged. Make the if-then sentence concrete so it fires. Write it in present tense so your brain can rehearse it. If I place my coffee on the desk after lunch, then I open report Q3 and type 1 sentence in the margin. That is initiation. Add a shield. If a Slack ping arrives during the block, then I hit Do Not Disturb and send a quick back at time note. Add a recovery. If I miss the block, then I run a 5-minute micro block before dinner with the same start and finish. 3 lines cover start, shield, and recovery. Keep them visible until your hands do it automatically. Anchor this to energy, not just to time. Most people have 1 high focus band and 1 light focus band each day. During the high band, assign the if-then to your most expensive task with the smallest viable unit. During the light band, run an if-then for maintenance that keeps the system clean. For instance, if the clock shows 9:30, then I draft the analysis paragraph. And if it is 4 p.m., then I clear the to-do inbox to 0. The cue must be objective and observable. When I feel ready is not a cue. Your brain can act on sights and times, not on moods. This does not remove freedom, it restores it. Freedom is doing what you intended without being captured by every tiny impulse. When environment and language carry the plan, self-control becomes cheaper. You stop burning willpower at the doorway and spend it on the craft. The emotional signature of a good implementation intention is relief. You do not wake asking how to begin. You arrive at the cue and notice your hands already reaching for the right tool. Stress test with friction mapping. Picture the exact scene where the cue happens and name the first frictions that could block the start. Perhaps the file is buried, the headphones are uncharged, or the calendar slab is vague. Remove one friction tonight. Put the file on the desktop, charge the headphones, or rename the slab with the atomic unit and the file path. Expect a small surge of readiness because your brain can see the runway. When the task carries social or emotional resistance, use a people cue. If it is 11:55, then I send the update email before lunch using the 3-sentence template at the top of the draft. The template removes ambiguity, which is a hidden tax on energy. Attach a micro reward that is trivial but satisfying, like moving the card to done while the session is still open. Visible progress is dopamine hygiene. Edge cases deserve a plan. If the cue fails to appear, promote a backup cue that is guaranteed. Use a phone alarm named with the action, not the task. Start outline now beats work. If an emergency burns your block, the recovery plan triggers a 5-minute micro block in the evening to protect identity coherence. That is less about productivity than about keeping your self-image aligned with your behavior, so tomorrow's cue still feels like you. You are ready to implement. Write 3 sentences that bind a clear cue to a tiny start, shield the block, and recover a miss. Stage the tool where your eyes will trip over it. Run the 20-minute protocol once today and mark the finish in a visible place. If it works, you will feel the click of lower negotiation, not a burst of inspiration. That click is the point. If this helped, keep me in your corner. I publish tools that turn theory into usable systems. Subscribe if you want more like this, and share it with one person who needs a plan that still runs on a low-energy day.